Hello and welcome back to another episode of Full Kit Banter. It's the first episode of 2022 and how apt that it is, Ep 22. And assuming nothing terrible has gone wrong in this recording, you guys will be seeing our faces for the first time. So I guess that's kind of a milestone. But as you can see on your screen, I'm joined today by BK, Sash and Nate. Nate and BK donning their respective clubs' kits. I am shilling the FKB merch, and Sash is just rocking out the Play Grey tee. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good,
Good
man.
start to the year.
Is it though?
Yep. Not so much for our clubs, but that's not the main focus for today. As I'm sure all our listeners would know that we've been planning the Team of the Season so far episode for a while, and we thought it'd be an apt way to ring in the new year. But we don't want to be called frauds because all four of our teams didn't perform too well this weekend. So we're going to just start this episode by briefly discussing what happened over the weekend before we dive into our selection. So I guess we have to talk about Liverpool-Chelsea first, right? Since myself and Sash are here. I don't know about you, Sash, but that match, that first half in particular was ridiculous. It was some FIFA street level of fraudulence. Like, there was no midfield from either side. Can you agree with that?
Yep. I'm not gonna lie. I felt that the Mane yellow card in the first 10 seconds should have been looked at a bit more because another day it could have been a red card. Just
If
saying.
it was
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka,
100%.
Okay.
If it was Xhaka, he'd be banned from
if
football
it
by
was
now.
if his name was Seidel Shaka, I think he would have been off. But didn't happen. Unfortunate that Chalobah didn't really clear his lines properly. Mane intercepted the ball and scored, and then Salah yet again demonstrating why he's the best player in the planet right now at this current moment. He just
Send
destroyed
Alonso back to Spain, man.
yeah and that finish was good though. Like, it was such a tight angle, but he managed to get it past Mendy. And then I thought to myself,
Mendy, I thought that was really smart. Yeah.
that was like within the first 15 minutes of the game, right? Yeah, so I was pretty deflated back then. I was about to complain to you guys on Telegram, but I decided not to. I was like, okay, let's just...
dude, I was surprised, man. You were like, no.
It was the quietest Telegram chat like we've had. Like, me and Sash didn't say a word.
Yeah, it was like 2-0,
Yeah,
then 2-2, right?
I
And then
thought
the
that,
half,
yeah.
and you guys just kept quiet.
Pascal, I was just waiting for you to, send a message to banter me, but...
No, dude. Karma's a bitch. Like,
because...
especially after the Mane incident and the fact that he scored, I didn't want to rub salt in the wounds. And we've seen Liverpool throw away leads so many times, and surprise, surprise, it happened again. So
yeah, that
overall,
Kovacic goal, though.
weird match.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the
jumping
Kovacic
in-
goal was insane.
Yeah, but do you know after that Kovacic goal, do you remember that the referee was checking VAR to see whether there was like some foul play? If that got ruled out, I would have been all over Telegram.
I was kind of laughing my ass off. I was like, what are they looking for? But
yeah.
I don't know what they were looking for.
Great goal,
Clearly,
man.
even the ref
Lukaku,
didn't know what he was looking for. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably
and then-
Lukaku's fault.
And then Pulisic got that beauty of a goal to level it at 2-2, and I thought, yeah, probably gonna have get a good game in the second half. And we kind of did, I felt that we kind of we pinned you guys back, but ultimately there was more control in midfield in the second half. But
Way more, yeah.
we couldn't find a winner, and it just ended in a 2-2 draw. It was one of the more entertaining games that I've seen this season. I think I can liken it to
Liverpool City.
Yeah, Liverpool City.
That was my favorite game of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chelsea Liverpool was a close second in terms of if you were a neutral fan, you would have loved watching. I mean, I was with my bro, and he said that it was as good as like the game that you mentioned before, Liverpool City. Yeah, but 2 points dropped for the title challengers,
Both
and
sides.
we could safely say that I think this title is City's to lose because I think they're 10 points clear of Chelsea right now, and they are 11 points clear of Liverpool, but Liverpool have a game in hand. But
I don't believe in games in hand, dude. It's just fake news. Yeah.
Yeah, but the downside to that is you guys and you guys being Liverpool, like your top 2 stars, Salah and Mane, and even Keita, they're all now jetted off
Whoa,
to
wait, what?
the AFCON. Yeah,
Squad player.
yeah, Yeah, it doesn't really work well in your favor in terms of squad depth because there's still there are a lot of games coming up as well, and you're gonna need like every player to kind of be there to kind of step up the game as well. And
Yeah.
That's kind of my analysis of the game. I think it was a pretty fair 2-2. Yeah,
I agree. Like, how obviously I'm disappointed you throw away a 2-goal lead. You always are. But based on the balance of play, you guys could have easily mugged us off in the second half. So, and on any other occasion, a point at Stamford Bridge is a good point for any away side. It's just when you're dealing with those oil fiends, it's a bit tough. You're dealing with the ball fraud. It's very difficult, but it is what it is, man. So that's just a quick summary of the match in a nutshell. Our opinions, our thoughts. We got to move on to Nate, man. This morning, fresh off the press, where there was no press.
it was
only
depressed. Do you mean
depressed.
it was depressed? Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What?
There's
I
no such
don't think
thing
we
as
watched the game
decompressing,
'cause
it's just
for us-
depressing.
For us, it was like at 4 o'clock or something, right? But in your opinion, were kind of the last few wins like a false dawn, or do you still think this was a blip, or kind of talk us through what you're thinking?
I think like United as a whole are they were improving, and what we're starting to really kind of see now is just inconsistencies. I think that's one of the main things. Their players, I guess at this point you could say, are not really reliable, and that's really unfortunate. Maybe the one player who's having a very consistent season is David De Gea. And if not, other times you're seeing some players really show up, and then you're thinking this is where probably they can kick on and really kickstart their season. But then again, you see them in the next game, and you're like, they are like a shadow of themselves. I think a good one to kind of example for that would be McTominay having a great game before this, and then this game kind of just looking a little lost, not being able to hold. I think the main thing was Rangnick keeps talking about United being his main goal is not really winning, but that's important, but to control games, and you're seeing a lot less of that. So that's the most kind of disturbing thing about this United team at the right moment. And it doesn't work well when you look at the other teams coming into form, especially around them. So you're starting to see a more resurgent Spurs side, Arsenal playing exceptionally well. I thought they didn't deserve the loss against City at all. And these are the teams around United that they should be most worried about. But when they're getting points, there's just no urgency. Just talking about the last game, there was no urgency. And that's just very disheartening. Yeah. Tough.
A bit of the same old lah. But I mean, despite all that, there was kind of one shining light in that match, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Phil Jones, man.
Yeah, return of the Jones.
Back in the starting lineup, and it's weird to say. It's almost weird to say that in 2022, Phil Jones was United's man of the match in a Premier League game.
Thought he would never get another run in the team, to be honest. And a very funny photo that I saw. I wanted to share with you, but I think I forgot. I saw this graphic of how back in, I think it was 2011, Sir Alex wanted a defensive trio of De Gea, Varane, and Jones.
Jones, right? Yeah.
Oh.
And he finally, you finally see it now, but well, it's like 10 years later, almost.
Yeah,
and
Jones past his prime.
Yeah, but
Good
I mean,
things come
he
to
still
those
looked.
who
Is he
wait.
really
I mean,
past his prime?
How can he
We'll-
be
we'll-
if he's
we'll
the
figure
best
it out.
player
We'll figure
on the
out.
day, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the other players are just shit, that's why.
Is he any worse than like Lindelof, Bailly, and Maguire at the moment?
Nah, man.
Actually, no one knows. No one actually knows because he has been thrown under the bus for like
I mean,
2
there's
years.
there's a reason why Phil Jones played like a man possessed yesterday. Like, it's not only his Man United career, but his footballing career was on the line. And I don't know if he thought that far ahead. I would imagine he did, but he probably was thinking the same thing we are. Like, there's kind of a spot next to Varane, if you will. So who knows, man? If he puts in
Yeah,
a
but
couple more good displays.
What does that say there? I mean, what does that say about his mentality? Like, he hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yet he's trained so well and kept himself so fit to
Elite.
produce a man
Yeah.
of the match performance against Wolves when United need like someone who paired up with Varane and when Maguire was unavailable. And yeah, I was telling the guys just now, and for the listeners that don't know, that Phil Jones this season has played more games than Van der Beek did. So, I mean, the January window is now open, and I think Van der Beek has to go. I'm sorry to say that. It's not really like Ole's fault right now because the guy's gone. I mean, under two managers, if you're not going to get game time over the likes of Fred and
Matic,
McTominay and Matic, that's...
Yeah, Matic is the one that I don't get. Like,
I think we talked about that before. It's just how like there is no true center defensive midfielder, and the most closest to a center defensive midfielder is Matic. He's just way past it. So if this is not the wake up call that United need to go out in January and get a center defensive midfielder, I don't know really what is, because it's just glaringly alarming right now. That's where the problem lies. And I think credit to Jones. I mean, the guy, I think it helps that it was a home game, so he looked at all the fans, everyone knows him. He's just like, okay, I'm just gonna come out and play the hardest that I can. I mean, he's never been the most skillful, so he's always just played with heart. So I think that's one thing that at this point fans would be quite satisfied with, because you see other much more technical players, better players, but them not playing for the badge is something that's most worrying. And we've seen it across, I mean, so many years. That's something that a lot of pundits like to talk about, like the United players not playing for the badge, they don't deserve to wear the shirt. And when you see Jones come out like that, you're just like, this is classic United. I mean, he's a blast from the past.
I mean, a certain Chelsea player could learn a thing or two from Phil Jones, right?
Oh man,
I mean,
if we start talking about
he's
that
also
guy,
ex
we're never gonna
United
get
player.
He's
just throwing that in
playing
here.
for another blue badge, just not the right blue badge.
The guy kisses every badge.
Yeah, but apparently the badge at Inter tastes better, right?
It's the air, bro. The air in Milan is just elite.
Inter water tastes better.
Going from United, right? I mean, it was just a brief summary, but I can understand where it's coming from. BK, it's gonna be a bit of a mixed emotions for you, because on the one hand, you guys probably played the best you've ever played against Man City in like the last 5 or so years, but to come away then with nothing, and in the manner in which you guys lost, how does that kind of feel, man?
I was quite gutted about.
Any positives to take from it?
I was gutted by the penalty already. But I was like, all right, if we can make out this with 1 point, I'll take it still. I mean, it's against City, right? But you know, Reuben Diaz had to. I thought it was just Sash, because he sent that meme of Adebayor, and I knew like that.
Dude, I'm an
Did
oracle,
he send
man.
it after?
No, I sent it before.
No, but he said Adebayor was gonna revival.
You can check the receipts, man. I sent it 8:10.
Yeah.
Adebayor PTSD. Reuben Diaz scored when he had to score.
Wasn't it Rodri?
Rodri.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Rodri.
Yeah.
They look the same. It's fine.
Yeah, but essentially gutted, but I think the team had a good performance. And even on like social media and whatnot, you can see the team is very cohesive with their reply. They're all very like, you know, all gutted. We shouldn't have like lost that 3 points, maybe like a point or something, but losing 3 points was a heartfelt one. Unfortunately, I think, I mean, we also were missing Arteta. I think him being there would have had some mentality instilled to the players. But it is what it is, and I won't. The only positive I can say is that, you know, a 2-1 loss to Man City isn't the worst that we have dealt with.
Especially after the capitulation back in August.
And we were playing with 10 men for a good second. Quite a good amount of the second.
You
half.
guys just love to make it hard on yourselves.
I know,
that's
right?
it right
I know,
there.
I know.
I saw a stat saying that Arsenal are the only club in the Premier League history who have 100 red cards.
You're
Who
that
would have
mad.
Sort it out.
Wow.
Sort it out.
It's
Then half of them were from Xhaka, right?
And the other half is from David Luiz's time there.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's true. Actually, if I add them both up, like the few seasons, definitely elaborates.
Yeah, but you guys gotta take hard in that performance because I think this was the first time I saw Man City players run ragged after the 90. Like straight after the referee blew the whistle, I saw De Bruyne just fall flat on the field. Like Bernardo Silva, I think he has like 3 lungs. He was also like panting. He was leaning down. Like most of them look exhausted. So yeah, you guys might have lost, but I know it's a bit cliche to say, but I'm sure you guys won the hearts of all Arsenal fans.
Hey,
Like,
I think a lot of Arsenal players are on board with that loss.
Yeah.
I think quite cohesive from the fan base as well.
I think that's kind of all the fan base have wanted for a long time too.
Yeah.
They don't like mind losing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially to like such good opposition.
Yeah.
It's just the manner of the defeats. So.
Yeah.
And
I think
one was that how first half, right? Arsenal had more possession. That's
Yeah.
insane against City, who
they
dominate
outplayed,
them.
Yeah,
and
they outplayed City.
Beat them at their own game.
and one thing
At
was
least for the
everyone
first
was always
half.
saying like Arsenal against the traditional big six, they kind of shy away and want to
yeah,
just.
yeah.
They didn't. They completely dominated. It was a total performance. I thought they really deserved something from that
Got me
game.
excited, man. Then
The
life
red
comes at
card
you
lah.
fast.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Ah.
what in the world lah? But it is what it is.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think that
Perfectly
sums
summed
up our club's shambolic. Okay, not shambolic lah, but
Only United
our
had a
club's
I
shambolic.
think
So
only
perfect
Arsenal
start
can.
to the
Yeah, I think
season.
only Arsenal can.
Hold their head
have the
high.
head up high. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well, I'll take that.
All right. Yeah, with that, we've kind of addressed the elephants in the room. Now it's going to get down to business. So for those of you who didn't watch last year's episode, pretty much we're going with your standard 4-3-3. Although in the modern era, I don't know what's standard anymore. But we're going with 4-3-3. We'll have one holding midfielder and your usual like left wing, right wing, and striker up top. We do kind of mix things around, but that is the base kind of formula of what we're going for. So with that, right, I want to pull out my own list. In case I forget any
we're all
names.
starting with goalkeepers, right?
Yeah, it's just the routine by now. We're not going to take up half an hour like we did the first time.
On
Or at least we'll try not to.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Sash-
actually remember how
Yeah,
many
Sash-
of the team of the season so far nominees made it into the final team of the season? I don't think it was that many, if I'm being
No.
honest.
No,
I think a lot of them fell
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Correct.
yeah.
So I mean, who knows,
Um,
man? Who knows?
You guys good with your list? Cause
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
all good.
my list right
All
here.
good.
Okay, who wants to get rolling then?
Alphabetical order lah. Arsenal, BK.
Okay,
You
for
get the ball
goalkeeper
rolling. I'm just
is
throwing you under the bus.
for goalkeeper is Aaron Ramsdale.
There you go. Yeah, there's a reason why I put you first.
Actually, I didn't really want to put him there, but Ederson was definitely top of this, right? Ederson and Alisson, top clean sheets. I mean, but they have a very solid defense, for their teams.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I think,
They're always gonna be in that conversation lah. Yeah.
yeah, and because for Ramsdale, right, I think Sash was the one who brought this up at the start of the season. We're like 30 million on like Ramsdale, like he just traded like Martinez for this shit, and then we were like, well, let's see. And that guy have made heaps of saves and like did massive improvement from last season at Bournemouth, and then like now coming into Arsenal's first
Sheffield.
team. Oh, Sheffield, yeah, sorry.
Sama,
It was a red and
they
white
both
jersey.
got relegated,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So yeah, I think he deserved to be on the list, or at least a shout out, definitely.
So
I think
Ramsdale
definitely
is the
deserves
nominee.
there.
couldn't
Yeah.
agree more.
But
So for me,
No,
right?
we're all new this edition.
yeah.
No.
I mean, I have a few more nominees, but I can't disagree
No,
with
no.
the Ramsdale.
Go with Sash. I think
nomination,
Sash is a different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sash
it
has
has to be
ammunition.
Adore Mendy, man. Like how could you not nominate him?
I think
Like-
you can nominate
It's on
him,
my
but I
list,
don't
to
think
be
he
fair.
wins.
I mean,
this.
how can this not be a unanimous decision? Because Adore Mendy, best keeper in the league, man. Just all I gotta say. Like, you know how many clutch saves he has for us? I know Ramsey has
He
fair
has-
share.
If we're
but
talking about
Mendy-
clutch saves, then we have to throw De Gea in this conversation as well, because the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
just,
you get
Yeah.
your turn. you get your turn. Just wait in line. Just wait in line. Yeah, so Adore Mendy, man, like that performance against Brentford, dear God, Brentford. we should have taken 3 points, but it's because of him. You know, we managed to take all 3, and I know it's I don't think his performances have waned. It's just that the defense in front of him, for some reason, I think we just hit our quota of clean sheets in the first half
Yeah.
of the first half of the season. And right now we're just leaking goals left, right, and center. I think it's, because of the chopping and changing of the personnel in defense, because of injury, suspensions, and the most recent bout of COVID. But in terms of like form, right, I think Mendy is still there. He's still making pretty much some clutch saves. Like in the first half against Liverpool, I think he also did
The Salah shot comes to mind.
Yeah.
The lob.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That lob, like, yeah, it's because Mendy is so anatomically, I wouldn't say weird, but he's gifted in the sense that his arms are like freakishly long.
He's slender man, dude.
It's like
Yeah, like,
Van der
did you
Sar,
guys
I
see the
guess.
photo of I think when he was at was it Rennes? When he was at Rennes, like he spread out his arm, and it was like so freakishly long. I should find that photo and send it to you guys later so that you know what I'm
yeah,
talking
he has a
about.
ridiculous wingspan. Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly,
so-
on my list, right, the top five teams were there, excluding Spurs, obviously. I mean, Lloris haven't been great. But yeah, the top 5 names were there. I just picked out Ramsdale just because not because he's an Arsenal player, but I think I wasn't expecting him to perform to such heights.
I mean,
I
if
mean,
we're gonna
that's a
talk about
huge thing. That's a huge deal for you, BK. I don't think we had a single Arsenal player last year on either team
No,
of
we
the
had
season.
Saka.
There were a lot on the fraud team.
No,
though. There were
I don't
lots
think
on
we
the
had
fraud
Saka at
team.
all.
No, I
Did we have
remember
Saka?
nominating Saka, but
Saka
it was
got-
like honorable mention. I think honorable mention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honorable
yeah,
mention.
yeah.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
Who knows?
Well,
He might
to
be
watch.
in. He might in like the actual team of the season so far this season.
Nate,
Hint.
what about you, Nate?
Yeah, I have a no. My official one on the list is Ramsdale as well, because I just feel like
Yeah.
it's unexpected. I think the thing about like the other keepers that we all have in mind, they all are up there and they are expected to be good, to make this kind of team. And so I put the hair there as a special mention because I just feel like the United team as a whole would be a lot lower in the table if it wasn't for him.
Worse
He saves
off,
us.
yeah.
He's keeping us at least even in and around the top half.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, really, like I think without him we may be in the bottom half, which is scary to think. And like I mentioned earlier, he's the most consistent player this season. But it's just because Ramsdale has, and it all starts from the back, right? For Arsenal, and like the whole change of their defense. But he is very integral into his personality. I think he and the new boys have all kind of gelled so well, which is why Arsenal are playing the way that they are right now. So I think he makes it in for just more than just goalkeeping. He's such a team player, and I think that's really important. So he's my nominee. Special mention to De Gea. And Mendy's not too bad too.
Yeah.
Pascal?
I'm gonna have to be the tiebreaker here, but as much as I think Mendy is a beast and should be definitely drug tested, I have to go with Ramsdale as well because of just the amount of negativity that was surrounding his signing. I mean, I put my hands up earlier. Like I was one of those criticizing the deal. I didn't think he was good enough, but he certainly showed that he is a character that Arsenal need in their dressing room and on the pitch as well. And yeah, he still does make the occasional mistake, but people forget how young he is. And yeah, he's just looks like he's gonna be part of the Arsenal spine for like years to come. And I mean, Mendy, I can't say enough good things about him, but I think Ramsdale just edges it in terms of because of what was expected of him, and obviously the back line in front of him is a completely new back line. So I would have to go with Ramsdale, but I did want to give an honourable mention to David Raya.
Oh
who
yeah, I
was
was going to say the same
performing
thing.
exceptionally well
Yeah.
until he got crocked.
Yeah.
Mine's
Hopefully
actually
he comes back sooner than later.
Mine's
for
actually
Brentford.
Jose Sa from Wolves.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
keeper.
He had
new
a bit of a
surroundings.
difficult start to
Yeah,
life
the
at
start was
Wolves,
shaky.
Yep.
but he's kind of grown into it, much as Bruno Lage and his tactics in general have. So yeah, all great nominees.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Shall
mean,
we?
I can definitely concede the Ramsdale one, but yeah, pretty much more controversial, or rather highly debatable choices to go to. But
the
yeah,
goalkeeper spot is a bit
guess-
tough lah, because there's like one
like
one
I remember the
person.
previous season, we all agreed on, Emi Martinez. I mean, he's still a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
keeper, but he didn't really, because he hit such lofty heights last season that
Yeah.
he didn't really match them this season. So
Once again, it was also we took into consideration the circumstances.
Mm.
Like he was let go of
Yeah,
Arsenal
because
exactly.
he was deemed not
and
good
he kind of
enough.
proved everyone
Yeah.
wrong. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or not as good as Leno, which is, I mean, it
I was
comes
still
full
right about
circle,
Leno,
man,
right?
so
I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah,
gonna let
fair
it go.
enough.
All right.
All right, so
so-
we've got through goalkeepers. That was very civil.
Yeah.
And in double quick time compared to last season. Let's go right back, full backs now. So we'll do
Full-backs.
right and left.
We do
Right.
right.
Do right or left?
Let's do right first. Let's do right
Here we
first.
go. Then like there's, I'll just let you Nate and I are at the back for this. It's just the both of you guys.
So it's basically Reece James.
What do you mean both?
versus
It's just
Trent.
one. There's only one obvious. There's only one correct answer.
They need us here to tip the balance, BK.
Yeah. So
I'm genuinely
okay.
interested to hear how you'll
Okay. Basically,
disagree
right.
with the Trent nomination.
What is the bread and butter of a defender?
Ah.
It is to defend, right?
He's going that route. I
So-
love it.
Who is the better defender between Reece James and Trent? And by that I mean, in terms of your eye test, right? Who has been beaten more times in a one-on-one situation, Trent or Reece James?
Do you have actual stats for that?
I'm pretty sure he has.
I feel like
actual
we need.
stats.
I feel like we need actual stats for that.
I actually
Yeah.
don't have it, but
I
based
get
on
your
eye
point.
test-
No,
I get
no,
your
you
point.
don't have actual stats.
Can I
for
just
that.
say that on that note, both are not very good at defending. To be honest, both are much more attacking.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
who
because
is- Okay, wait, did you watch the Champions League final when Reece James was up against Sterling? Was one of the best left wingers in the world at that point of time, and he pocketed him.
But that
Whereas,
was last season.
yeah, but
we're
going
talking about
into
team of the season
going into
so
this
far.
season, right? Like, yeah, James hasn't been defensively. He hasn't been like, Paulo Maldini-esque or even like Phil Jones-esque, like currently. But if you're gonna compare him to what was it Fornals did to Trent, I think. Yeah, we all know Trent and Reece James, they are really good in their attacking third. But if it comes back down to the bread and butter of defending, you have to give it to Reece James. Because if you're gonna use the Ramsdale, like no one expected him to be this good, this season. I think you could say the same for Reece James because we all know Trent's level, and we all expected this of him, but no one really expected this. That Reece James
You
to
lost
turn
me
out this
there.
good.
You lost me there because Reece. You said it yourself. Reece is the number one for England, right? What are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, but
Isn't
number
Reece
one
number
for
one for
England,
England?
but no one expected him to
Wouldn't
be this
number one
good.
for England be expected to be good?
I mean, that furthers my
Like-
point. If he's starting for England and Trent is not, then
Okay,
shouldn't
No, but your
Trent
point.
be the best
But your
right back in
point
the Premier League?
was. Yeah, no, but that's completely different. Your point was that no one expected Reece to be good, but my argument to that is that he's England's number one. So how can people not think he's good?
No, because because neutral fans, right, they don't know how good he is because he didn't really play that much for Chelsea last season because, Aspi was still the first choice right back and, Reece James was still budding, like he was still breaking in. So Tuchel actually saw that, actually Reece James is kind of on the rise and Aspi, because of his age, he's not really that right back that he was like a few years ago. So this season it was like, okay, it was Reece James' spot to lose, and he actually showed how good of a right back he is, and no one really expected him to be this good. But Gareth Southgate actually saw that because Reece James is so much better playing right wing back compared to Trent, so he kind of paved the way for the masses to see how special of a player Reece James is before the current circumstance where we all know how good he is, like if you get what I mean.
I think there's only one person here you need to convince, actually.
So okay. I'm going to cut you guys there.
I know
and
Pascal's not gonna budge, so I'm just trying to sell this to you guys right now.
I'm going to cut you guys there, and I actually went online to dig a bit, and honestly, right, even the online stats are like quite balanced out for these two. They're pretty tight on both ends. So just to generalize the whole stats after reading, they more or less have the same amount of match. Reece James has played lesser matches and lesser time. Goals, obviously, we know Reece James has more goals. Trent has lesser goals.
Like 2 more goals.
Yeah. Shot on target and all. Reece James is the better attacker / finisher. But in terms of passing and assisting and crossing, right, Trent is the one with the highest stat on that, with pass completion and whatnot. Defensively, this is where it gets interesting. Honestly, they're quite tied up for it as well. I think it's quite tight because number of presses for Reece James is actually higher than Trent, but Trent has more tackles and interceptions than Reece James. So it's still very... It's tight on this, man.
I mean,
I was
this
not
debate,
expecting that, to be
it'll
honest.
last till the cows come
but,
home,
but,
but
okay,
I was surprised.
how
as
many
well, man.
times? How many times, right? When Liverpool concede, does the pundits, right, and you guys blame it on because they were attacking Trent's side and Trent was not doing.
Exactly, you
or
won't
Trent was
really
not
hear that
covering.
from,
Trent was not doing his due diligence.
Yep.
yeah.
I think to
I
be
mean,
honest though,
so-
it's not just a Trent thing. It's just the Liverpool style of play.
No,
it's the
so
system.
They
like,
literally
yeah,
only
exactly.
want
even
to
the
leave
Pulisic
Van
goal
Dijk
against
at the
Chelsea.
back.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
the interesting part about the thing. They were saying that because Chelsea plays in the 5-2-3 formation, whereas Liverpool plays in the 4-3-3 formation. So then both of them plays very differently for the system. That's why I think 5-3-2 gives Reece James more chance to attack and maybe not focus that much on the defense, whereas 4-3-3 Trent has to track back more for the defensive duties, although progressively attacking I think he's required there. So
I think Liverpool's system causes both fullbacks to be punished more severely if there's a turnover in the middle of the park. Like
Yeah,
just the
but why
Pulisic
isn't
goal,
Robertson's side punished
Um,
more when compared to Trent's side? Like both
he
of them
kinda
push
is.
extremely high up.
He is.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
but
but
you
not
have
Van
Van
Dijk
Dijk
on
on
that
that left
link.
side.
I think
makes a
people
big
will just find
difference.
a weak link in maybe Robertson has more. I think Robbo does have more pace than Trent and defensively he's more astute or sound. Trent is we can agree on this that I think Trent is less defensive capabilities as compared to Robbo. So that's why I think and maybe with Van Dijk on that side of the wing as well.
I mean, ultimately, it's also up to Nick and BK because
I mean, we're
actually
not gonna
don't-
budge.
I don't disagree with a lot.
I'll-
I don't disagree with a lot of points you made, but
Let's throw more
I
names
just think
in.
Trent
Leagues.
from that right side.
I
is
was going to throw.
phenomenal.
I'm
Like,
going to
he's
throw.
so-
Yeah, I'm not saying that Trent is terrible
Yeah.
right back. I'm just
I'm
I'm
yeah,
really just
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
leave it
you
to
guys,
like
is-
the both of
you
them.
guys
to-
appreciate
yeah,
each other's right back.
Yeah,
I'm just going to
yeah.
throw in Tomiyasu for the memes.
Can I just say, I have Tomiyasu as well, but on a special mention because of just
yeah.
How-
Actually, same,
Yeah.
same.
he's part of the
Mm.
reason why Arsenal look different now. And then you could say
It's
if
a
you're
democracy.
gonna
Just throw the
take,
whole Arsenal
we're gonna
back line
take the
and then
same
we're
kind
done.
of like
Tomiyasu.
if we're gonna
No,
take
I
the
feel
same
like-
train of thought about how if we're talking about this team of the season is about people that we didn't expect to be good and are
Mm.
actually outperforming
Mm.
themselves. Tomiyasu is way up there. I had no expectation whatsoever, but he's made himself at least at the current moment top 3 of right backs in the league. So right up there, I think with the two names that are obviously always going to be there for a while.
Who's City's right
I
back?
think Tomiyasu is up there.
Spurs, Emerson Royale.
Nah,
No, City,
nah, no,
City.
there's no way.
Nah. What?
Uh,
United?
It's actually Walker.
City is like Walker,
Walk-
Yeah.
but they also
I
kind
feel
of
that-
ditched him already.
Yeah, I feel that Tomiyasu is like the Japanese version of Walker, but without the baggage of, without that.
Whatever Walker does.
Yeah, whatever Walker does. Yeah.
The thing about Tomiyasu is that he
Walk.
doesn't have much attack. He's very
Mm.
good defense.
Yeah, he's a bit
Yep.
limited. Yeah.
I think he's more of
it's
a
a bit like
fullback.
Walker. Yeah, but
he'll be more dangerous.
yeah, I think the
Mm.
thing that goes pretty much under the radar about Tomiyasu is his dexterity. He's very agile. For-
Very.
Yeah, for extremely tall
I
right
don't
back.
think I've noticed.
Yeah, he's pretty good 1-on-1. I've
Alright.
noticed that when he was up against
He's
Sterling.
the winner
defense.
then.
Wait, is
Hey,
that your
then,
actual
okay.
nomination though, Beaks?
Yeah, the 3 of them were up there in the list.
But
Like
who do
for
you
real,
got?
the 3 of them.
I mean,
Who's
if Nathan
starting?
goes
Who's
with
starting?
if Nathan
who's
goes with
starting?
Tomiyasu, then we have to put Tomiyasu.
No, that's not my actual one. but he's on here on my list for a special mention.
My actual is
Go Dalo.
Reese. Mine's Reese. Cause by alphabet.
Yes.
No, but Reese is
Just
the,
pick one lah. We gotta move on.
Okay.
Reese
Mine
is
is
on my
mine
list.
is gonna be mine is Reese because I know that Trent has goals in him. We already know he could shoot really well and he scored quite a lot. The thing that I wanted to see more from Reese this season was goals, because he's had always a really sweet delivery. He knows how to put the ball on the money, and so that was one thing that was kind of missing from his game. And this season, because of the lack of goals from in front for Chelsea, they've needed
he
to dig
compensated.
for goals elsewhere, and he has shown to be a pretty astute scorer. So I think, and the numbers don't lie lah. So I think the fact that he has more goals
expectation
than
thing
probably
as
some
well.
of the strikers in his team says a lot about him lah. So I put him for the team so far.
So yes, Rhys James, right back.
Pascal's screen
This
is
is
freezing. We might
this
have
is
lost
a
it.
betrayal, man.
But
Alright,
Trent
blocking it in.
Trent
You
is
you'll
up
get
there.
someone in the
Reece.
team. No worries.
Yeah, you get someone in. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
It's basically
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy and
That guy.
10 other blokes.
Okay, moving to the.
Are
Are
we
we going into
left
the
back?
center or we go
Left
to the
back,
other
I don't
side?
think this
Okay,
one I
left
think is pretty freaking straightforward.
Left back? Yeah.
There's only
Left
gonna
back.
be one
No
guy.
one wants to say it. Tell
Yeah,
us.
Left back, yeah.
If
Luke Shaw.
I'm kidding.
Ben
But
Johnson.
he's on my special mention tell
No way.
because he's again unexpectedly good. But besides that,
But he was dropped last night. He didn't play.
no, he's dropped because of rotation. It's
But
rotation.
he got rotated the game before.
He got rotated with
against
Shaw.
Burnley, yeah. Yeah,
I
he got
mean, no, it's funny because like
Ralph
they
saw him
they,
for
they,
2 games and I was like,
they play as a pair. It's almost like they play as a pair. Like you have to play Telles with Dalo, and then Shaw with AWB. So whenever
But
you
I
see one
thought
switch
that-
out, they switch out the other side
Uh-huh.
as well, which is strange. Maybe it's the style of play. But
But I thought
Okay.
that anyway, left back, all in favor
I'm
of
gonna
João
go back. I'm gonna
Cancelo.
bring us back from fantasy land, and I'm gonna nominate Yao Cancelo
Yeah.
because
yeah, man.
anyone
Yeah.
else
I mean,
is like
just-
wrong.
yeah.
It's just wrong.
So I think we can
Yeah,
move on.
Cancelo.
This is a straight in.
He's
With
on
all
mine
due
as well.
respect.
Yeah.
Don't we have any other
Nah,
honorable
No.
mentions for
I would
fullback,
like
left back?
I think no
I
one comes
struggle at
close.
left back.
Robertson has done. Robertson was
I
our
wanted to
nominee
put
last season.
Chidi B.
He was in our team last season.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I got some backlash for that.
I want-
Slight
Really?
backlash.
But I
Yeah,
think
just
part of the
me.
reason Cancelo is doing
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
well is
remember it's a
also
slight-
that City
slight
is so
backlash.
dominant that they
Mm.
barely have. He doesn't need to defend so much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why he's managed to show the attacking side of
Mhm.
his game, which he
True.
never
I just
really
wanted-
had actually. Another left back who suddenly has become an attacker this season.
I
He's
think
so good
Chilwell
also.
was the only on my list, but because of the
Yeah, but
injury,
he-
so then he
yeah.
didn't make the. Yeah.
I mean, if Chilwell didn't get injured, probably could have been
yeah.
a closer fight.
Chilwell hasn't played enough. He
Yeah.
he missed out the first like
Mm.
8 games, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
know
only
for what
reason.
Yeah,
There was
but
some
when he came in, he
mentality
was
issue.
like, he came in like a
Yeah.
house on fire, but
Yeah.
then unfortunately he got ruled out for the season. But
Mhm. Whoa, what?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
out- he's out for
Cancelo
the
is-
se- yeah, he's
yeah,
out.
Chilwell's out for the season, man.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see why Lucas. Didn't
That's why they're trying to
Yeah.
go for
Luka
Luka
Dean,
Dean.
yeah.
I thought they were trying to call back
Speaking
Emerson.
of players who used to be good, Emerson.
Nah, he's just
Yeah, I
picking
heard
up,
that
but,
too.
yeah,
but I don't see. It's not the move.
Sorry,
You guys should
when
just spend money on like another fullback
Yeah.
or
Just
like
play
promo. I'm sure you
Lukaku.
guys have a
Why not
left
just
back
play
in your
Lukaku
under
at left
23s,
back?
like. Yeah, maybe or Saul at left back, right?
yeah, might as well.
God.
Might as well not play left back if
Okay,
Saul was
okay.
playing there.
Alright, centre backs.
Cancelo, brilliant.
Centre backs. We're going to throw our pairs in or one by one.
Let's just throw a pairs in lah.
Mhm.
Actually, no wait. I have another honorable mention for left back, but he's obviously not going to get in the team. But what do you guys think about Marc Cucarella?
Yeah, I like him.
I
Decent.
think I expected him to struggle big time
Mhm.
because he just struck me as a
The
very La Liga player. You guys get where
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Can I just say
Is
he
he
still
the
looks like
soft
he's playing La
touch.
Liga now. Like
is he brother of
like
Gonzozi?
he's,
right?
he's coping.
I
He's
feel
Gunzozi's
like,
brother,
the first
right?
time I saw him, I thought he would be like Reguilon, but with like the head and afro. But he's
Yes,
so much
David
better.
Luiz, but left back,
yeah,
right?
he adapted so much
Yeah.
better. Mm.
Okay.
And he
Got the
doesn't
right
look
guy.
like
and
he's
he's
absolutely
originally
cropped.
like a left winger.
Oh.
So that's
Oh.
even more impressive that he's been able to
Okay.
kind
like
of
learn
find
the
that balance
defensive
as a
side
wing
of the
back.
game, right?
Yeah, he's a class. I think he's been a great signing.
I
Just Cancelo has been
Mhm.
different class, different gravy. So
yeah.
who wants to get us started on the centre backs?
I have 4.
Nathan, how about you?
Yeah, Nate, go
Okay.
first.
Yeah, I have like
Mine
3.
is I have special mentions as well, but the 2 main ones are Rudiger and Reuben Diaz. I think
What?
they are just.
Okay.
I mean, you can look at the other really good defenders in the league, but these 2 are kind of rocks, and they are mainstays in their respective teams. Rudiger has been exceptionally, again, I guess a lot of the names here are because like you don't expect them to do so well. He's been exceptional this season, so he's in. His special mention goes to his defensive partner, which is Silva. I thought he also deserves a mention, but of the 2, I feel Rudiger's better, and Reuben Diaz as well. He's part of the reason why City are so dominant, because they don't have to worry about the back. Kind of like how Van Dijk usually is, but that's just not really the case. I feel like Van Dijk's not so dominant this season, so it's Rudiger and Diaz. And special mention to Silva, and also Ben White, special mention. I think I had my doubts, especially after the 5-0 trashing, but
Mm.
he's turned it around, and I think that's really on him. Yeah. I hope I didn't cover all the points. I think you guys
Cool.
have other people.
No, actually, for me,
I kind of am on board with all of that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with Rudiger.
Mhm.
He's added like an attacking game to his
Yep.
repertoire. Like the amount of times, like even against Liverpool, he was kind of playing as a cam for a bit. I'm like, the ball's on this guy. So fair play to him.
Mhm.
The only downside for Chelsea fans is that he might be leaving next season.
Yeah.
Reuben Diaz, I think it's hard for him because how do you top last season, right? I think he's definitely been good, but to me, Rudiger was higher on the list for myself than Diaz, but I guess we could have him in. I thought before his injury, I thought Ogbonna was superb.
Yep.
For West Ham. It's such a shame that he got injured before even like the midway mark of the season, but I thought he kind of showed that form that made Juventus buy him like all those years ago, and I think Moyes is somehow was able to get something out of him. So for me, he deserves to be on this list mainly because he's not gonna make it to the final one. And this one is more of like just me trying to, kind of push the narrative. But I thought Matip has been superb. We talk about Van Dijk being a bit not 100%. I agree. He's not been at his brilliant best. Even though he still is a very good defender, he still dominates that area of the pitch. But something is a bit off. I agree. But I thought Matip has stepped up to kind of complement Van Dijk a little bit. So while Van Dijk has maybe dropped 5%, Matip has kind of made that up. So the overall quality hasn't suffered so much. I would say those 3 are my main nominees, and if you include Diaz, then those are my 4.
Mhm.
Sash,
For me,
you want to go
I
first?
think it's unanimous that Rudiger gets into the team of the season
Yeah.
so far. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna talk about the rest. I think I really like the Matip nominee because he's actually the defender that I chose to pair up with Rudiger. But I think Diaz definitely deserves a special mention, but definitely didn't perform to the heights that he did last season. And that's because he set the bar so high. I mean, I think this season he kind of dropped maybe 5%, kind of like Van Dijk. And yeah, you can see Van Dijk is still kind of trying to get back to his best after that horrific leg injury that like Pickford tried to murder him.
Yeah, Pickford busted his knee up.
Yeah, but what do you guys think about, honorable mention of Connor Cody, man? I think he's
Oh,
really
yeah,
stepped
he
up
was-
his game.
That's true.
Yeah,
he was in
especially,
my mention.
Like I do remember that performance against Liverpool where he literally put his
Dude is
nuts on the line.
lion heart,
Yeah,
man.
he put his nuts on the line to save
Yeah.
that Jota shot. Like when I saw Jota run clear, I'm like, alright, that's 1-0 Liverpool, and somehow
Yeah.
Cody managed to block that shot. And Cody isn't
Kind of
really the
slipped under the
biggest.
radar.
Yeah, he isn't really the biggest defender, but you don't really need height if you know how to position yourself. It's a bit like, who was that Italian defender who wasn't
Cannavaro.
really that tall? Cannavaro. Yeah, right. I mean, he's not like Cannavaro-esque, but he kind of reminds me of that player, and he's pretty good with his ball playing skills. Like he started off as a midfielder in Liverpool, right? Before he moved back into defense, and I think that the passing range that he has is quite underrated. He does bring the ball out of the defense very well to the attackers in the final third. So yeah, my two nominees will be Rudiger and I think Cody, because he has played more games than Matip. Yep.
I like that nominee. Totally slipped my mind. And Wolves have proven to be like a defensive unit. They don't score a lot of goals, but they'll be damn sure to keep you to at least maybe one goal. So yeah, I like that nominee. What about you, BK?
I agree with Sash. Actually, I wanted to throw Thiago Silva in for fun. I mean, he has been performing at his age as well. But I mean, Rudiger is definitely up in the list. I think you guys nailed the spot on for Diaz and all that. I mean, Diaz isn't in my list mainly just because he's a City player. The team is so.
Are we
stacked.
just haters?
No. It's just that the team is so stacked already. There's like, if you're not I mean, he's still performing at a very good level. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're talking about like, so I guess like if the thing is on Diaz and Cody, I'll put. Yeah, I won't put Diaz in, man. Yeah, definitely.
Cody has more influence in the Wolves back line this season, and he's the captain as well. And I feel that
it gives us brownie points. We pick a Wolves player as like the hipster's choice, Yeah,
That's
I like
so
that.
true.
What about you, Nate?
Nate already.
Swing vote.
Mine is Rudiger and Diaz, but I
Oh,
mean,
word,
we
yeah,
have
you
two
got the ball
people
rolling.
on
My
Cody,
bad.
so I'm alright. I'm not gonna
No
defend a
space for
City player.
no space for slap hit.
Trade out 5-3-2.
No.
Just like switch up.
I think the biggest disappointment is that Varane got injured and he didn't get to really get a proper run in the season. If not, he would definitely probably be in
We
the
just throw Phil
mentions.
Jones in there, might as well.
Varane's
One
in that
game
sweet
wonder.
spot where we can't say he's a flop, but we can't say he's like a success yet. It's still a lot of unknowns
Maybe
for
he's
Varane
that-
in a United
He's
shirt.
in one of those like, I need a season
Yeah.
to adapt to the league. I can't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hit the ground running, so it's
Mhm.
alright.
Mm.
So Rudiger and Cody.
Yeah, I'll go with Cody. I mean,
I like
my
the Cody
mentions
pick
were
against
was
despite
Diaz
Matip
and
being
White,
yeah.
but I think Cody's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I think White's been outperformed by Gabriel, to be fair. Like,
Yeah,
he's
actually-
been okay. He's definitely picked up, but I think team of the season so far is a step too far. For
Actually, Gabriel was in my list,
step
but-
too far for White.
But because of the red card, he's not.
Yeah, you can't nominate someone after a red
Yeah,
card.
I was
It's
like,
tough.
oh, this is gonna be sus. I'm
Xhaka's
gonna
never
get heat from
making the
boys.
team, BK.
Nah.
All right, I like that. So we've got in goal Ramsdale. Just to recap for everyone: Reece James at right back, Cancelo at left back, and Rudiger and Cody in the center of defense. That's a nice team. That's a very tasty team right there. So with that, let us move on to our defensive mid, and I feel like we are all gonna at least have this guy on our list. Whether he's our first choice, I don't know. Declan Rice.
Yep.
Come on, guys.
He's in the
the
list,
200
definitely.
million
He is
pound
the list,
man.
yeah, but he's not like my first choice.
Not
He's
mine
the only
either.
guy on my list.
Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of only had one nominee for defensive mid.
Oh,
Yeah,
Was it
yeah,
Rice?
I
That was
nominated.
it.
yeah, same. I'm
Yeah, it was
with
Rice.
Pascal.
I mean, who doesn't love rice?
I don't know,
I
I-
love it with curry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, you have like
Nasi, bro.
N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, so I didn't
Um,
know whether Kante was like DM
No,
or
I
like.
Kante doesn't really play that lone
Yeah,
DM
exactly.
spot. So I kind of, I feel that Rodri deserves like that spot because he has
Some
been
respect, right? I
exceptional.
feel Rodri's been overlooked a lot.
No, Rodri's not on that
He's
spot.
so good.
No. I just think
Wait,
Rice, for what West Ham have done, like we talk so much about these teams, like
Yeah.
sort of you're not expecting them to hit these heights. I just think he's been,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of talk about him being worth a certain amount,
Yeah.
but he's gone on to sort of match, if not
Justify it.
exceed those expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
I
Meeks,
think
who's your
Rice-
guy?
Rice. Definitely.
Rice?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'm with Pascal. I'm on the same
What about
thought.
McFred?
Yeah. Like some fried rice.
Yeah.
Mine
hell yeah.
mine is Rodri.
Rice. Yeah,
but I think
sorry,
the same
cutting.
can be said about both players. When they're not there, the teams for both are like they look like
suffers a lot.
vulnerable.
Especially when Fernandinho was playing.
I think the fact that
midfield role.
Fernandinho got exposed by Leicester,
yeah, especially
right?
against
that was
Leicester.
a
Yeah,
big
that
one.
was the indication that he's not the Fernandinho of old.
So the annoying part to me, like comparing these two, right, is that based on team to team, right? Obviously, if you take City against West Ham, like City will get the points, right? And therefore, I mean, the underdog should take it, lah. That like, but granted,
is
like
round,
what
man.
you guys mentioned, the two individuals, right? If you take them out from the team, right, both teams will be shaky, for that comparison. So that's why I'm on the fence for this one, but my vote will go to Rice.
I have a question for both Nate and Sash.
Yeah.
Would you then put Rice in another centre midfield position, just not the DM one, or do you have
I think
better options
Rice plays best
to Rice
in
in centre mid?
that sweeper. Sorry, not sweeper role. That
Anchor.
CDM role.
Yeah.
And do you remember the stat that I brought up that he's only second to Bernardo Silva in terms of ball progression, which is carrying the ball at least 5 meters forward before spraying a pass.
Hey, that's what
So,
United
but-
needs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
I think we
exactly what
should be in the
you-
market for him.
It's not gonna come cheap though.
Well, you missed him by a
150,
season.
Yeah, 100 as the quote David Moyes, 100 million was.
I'll
Not
throw
so
in Jesse.
yesterday.
I'll throw in Lingard to
Yeah.
sweeten the deal.
Lingard,
I mean, I don't mind the
right, yeah.
Declan Rice nomination. I do feel that it was like kind of 50-50 for me.
Did we have
Between
Rodri
Rodri
last
Yeah,
year?
I think we can give it to Rice.
I feel like we might have had Rodri, if not for so far, definitely for the end of the season. I think so far I managed to convince you all to put Fabayoko inside. That was I got met with some resistance for that. I remember.
No, you
No.
wanted to put
I
him as
nominated
centre back.
Fabinho for centre back.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
no way. No way, dude.
So boys, what we going with, Rodri or
okay,
Rice?
Nasi.
Rice. Yeah, I'll go with
Thomas
Rice.
Partey.
This one feels like it's just academic. Like I just feel like they're both so good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
unfortunately only have one.
Yeah.
I think the
Screw
fact
it,
that
Rice it is.
that Rice has
Some
got West Ham
diversity.
so high up, whereas Rodri's already playing in
Yeah.
a star-studded team, shows
Yeah.
the levels of Rice.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you could also argue that. Why am I arguing against myself? Never mind,
Just
forget
leave it.
Forget what I was gonna say.
Yeah, just leave it. Leave it.
Rice. Okay, cool. The two other centre mid spots. Now this one I had a lot of difficulty because I think the meta for the Premier League this season has been very much your wide players, your wing backs, and at least for the first 10
I thought you
games, your
meant like
centre-backs.
your white players. I'm like,
Hey,
bordering on
so
the
this-
political.
It's an inclusive show, man. But yeah, why don't one of y'all get started on the centre mids? You can either just drop one or you can drop all your nominees, and we'll place two inside that, those two spots.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Sash, you
Sure,
take the
man.
lead.
Yeah,
first, man.
I have three actually. So, the first nominee is Bernardo Silva. Definitely second to Salah in terms of the best player in the Premier League at the
Of
moment.
course.
Yeah.
Second nominee will be Conor Gallagher, because no one expected him to be
Conor Gallagher.
like the player that he is for Palace right now. I mean, you can't really argue with, the player who has most goals in midfield for Palace, most tackles, most interceptions, most distance ran, most blocks and all that. I mean, you just can't really argue with that. And
Yeah.
he's on loan from Chelsea, and yeah, Chelsea sent him on loan with, the intention of getting him minutes at Palace, and to see him flourish so much at that club is pretty much a joy. And I wouldn't mind, as in I think all Chelsea fans will want to see him back, because Kante isn't really getting any younger anymore. He's getting more injury prone, and I do feel that although he's not at Kante's level right now, but he has, I know it could be like because he's from Chelsea as well, Chelsea's youth academy, that he could be close to a Kante replacement, because Kante's body's getting brittle. He can't really play like a full season anymore without getting injuries. I think because he got overplayed by the managers that were in charge of him a few seasons ago, and yeah, pretty stoked about seeing his development, man. And I think the last nominee is kind of a controversial one, but I would like to nominate Kovacic. not because of that goal that he scored yesterday. It's not recency bias, but you can see that he's really like elevated his game like since he joined Chelsea. Like his close control is absolutely sick. He ran the midfield together with Kante just against Liverpool. And in terms of all-round dynamic, tough tackling midfielder, I think he fits the bill. But he hasn't been playing that much games because he's been in and out with injury, and then after injury he had COVID. So yeah, these are my three nominees: Bernardo Silva, Conor Gallagher, and Mateo Kovacic.
Yeah. I definitely had Silva and Gallagher on my list. Kovacic, I didn't, but I can understand why you had him on. It's a shame for Bernardo though, because ever since KDB's kind of come back into fitness, I mean, you always would love to have a guy like KDB in your team, but it's kind of pushed Bernardo further back. So while it's probably overall good for Man City, it might not be good for Bernardo himself. So we'll see if he ever goes back into that more advanced position. But yeah, I definitely think he deserves a spot in there. Gallagher for me, honestly, like it's hard to bet against these two. Like you guys might scoff at my next nomination, much like how Sash preempted your with Kovacic, but I think Thiago, minus the injuries, like I've watched Liverpool games, most of the Liverpool games this season, and we are just completely different without him. We play so much better with him. The last few games, I think against Spurs and Chelsea, the midfield was non-existent, and I think the fact that him and Fabinho, like I kind of put them as a pair now, much like how Nathan said Dalo and Telles are like a pair, right? And the Fabinho we saw against Chelsea wasn't the real Fabinho. I don't know what happened to him. That was an imposter. But the two of them together really make us miss Wijnaldum's presence a lot less. But without Henderson has kind of been off lately, so I don't really include him in that bracket. But Fabinho and Thiago are two absolute must-haves in the Liverpool midfield. Without them, we are not the same side. So I'm only going to pick one. If I had to nominate an outside nominee, it would be Thiago.
So Thiago and Gallagher?
For dictating the tempo.
No, he put
Thiago, Gallagher, and Bernardo Silva. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why don't you?
I think Bernardo has to be in lah. For me, I'm going to play devil's advocate and put Thiago instead of Gallagher.
Nate?
I actually had Silva, but I put him in a different position. I put him out as one of the attackers.
I got confused because he
on
could play.
We did that last year too.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky because he's so fluid in his movement, and honestly, when you see him scoring his goals, it's always because he's so far wide and forward that he sometimes progresses into that position. So because of that, since he's somewhere else on the pitch for me, further up in a special mention because he actually can't take the place of the guy who's actually there. But the guy who I have is Mason Mount. I have him in the centre mid
he's on my list.
he's quite a revelation. Like Chelsea, if you're talking about players that they missed, without Mount, they look a bit toothless. Like there's this guy who connects the whole team together, and like when he's there, the defense wants to go up. So then you see, but I mean, I don't know the stats on it, but he definitely progresses the ball. Every time he gets the ball, he's like pushing. And so
Sash
Mount
mentioned about this, that Mount was so integral to like Chelsea's forward and play, which is why he's also actually on my list as well. But Nate, you go on with your list because apart from Mount.
Just on that thought, like I have Gallagher there as well. So if you imagine the reality of Gallagher coming back to Chelsea, you have Gallagher and Mount. Like any team that has very old players will be super scared of that because there's so much energy in those two that they'll just and whoever's playing in front of them will just go wider so that they can go through the middle, and then you're just gonna be overran. Like he's one of the reasons why I think a lot of teams are overrun when Chelsea move forward, because you see Mount in the box and you're like, what's he doing in the box? Like now who do I mark? So he's there.
The extra
other
man
name that I have is special mention is Gallagher because I have KDB partnering Mount because I think one picks the passes, the other one tries to like move forward. Like I pick them kind of like to play together. So I have KDB with Mount because I think that's a very good pairing. But special mention, I also have Gallagher there as well. So those are my three.
So I have
Fernandes for me.
Yeah, man, that guy has
way
been
different from last year.
It's so sad to say.
hard when you're
I
not.
think last year he was the first guy.
Undisputed.
They
It
were
was-
all
Yeah.
It
unanimous,
was
like,
Fernandes and 10 others.
I have 4 players on my list. Mount, Gallagher, Silva, of course. Last one. Shout out to. It's a bit
I
weird
almost
now.
thought you
Like,
said Xhaka.
no.
Shout
It's
out.
a bit weird. Shout out to Smith Road for
I
making the
knew
list.
it.
Like,
I knew it
yeah.
was gonna come.
He's
Yeah,
good.
it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same reason why you guys put your players in the list.
Mm.
It's probably the same thing, same reason. I don't think there's much to go on. I would say the only reason why he's not in that list, because he's not as big as a player. He hasn't had the minutes as well. I was just looking at the stats, and honestly, I think Gallagher has more game time than him. But club to club perspective, you can see why he won't make the list. So that's why I'm a bit I'm okay to let Smith Rowe out, but definitely the other 3 will be on my list. Mount
I
is
think
also
special
out
mention-
only because of
on
injury.
a team sheet, right? Is Smith Rowe in centre mid or is he kind of like out wide again?
Center, but he's
I always kind
he,
of get
he
confused
can.
with him.
It's weird because he plays like AM, but I think he drops a bit deeper.
Yeah.
But he can he
A
plays
bit
more
like
on the
Mount
wings.
lah, like
Yeah, it's a
Wait,
Mount
but-
position.
Floating.
I always
number
thought
10.
like in the position officially like on team sheet, it's always Odegaard who's playing the
Exactly.
official 10.
Exactly. So like I think they do that like rotational with Partey at the back. So it's whoever is there first or
Wow, damn,
however.
actually it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
But I think we all agree on Bernardo. It's just filling the last.
I think Bernardo has to be inside.
Yeah.
Um,
Just the last slot.
I feel dumb about putting Thiago in because Smith Rowe, Mount, and Gallagher all deserve it more than him in my opinion.
Do you want
You
it
know I
to
had
be
to do
hipster's
it. Gotta
choice?
rep-
You can
gotta
throw
rep the
Gallagher in though.
boys.
I guess we
If you want
could.
to
I think
Gallagher, I feel isn't that much of a hipster's choice. I think the hipster's choice would be Smith Rowe. I feel Gallagher is kind of like, he's almost expected to be there. Like he was almost one of the first names we all threw out.
I think Gallagher is there
and
because of
deservedly
like.
so.
Yeah. But if you think of it that way, if you don't have Gallagher in the Palace team, they'll look different.
Oh,
They are not
definitely,
as-
man.
you could
Then
say the same for
good
everyone
going
we've just
forward.
mentioned though. Mount,
No,
and
no,
Smith
BS.
Rowe, yeah.
Smith Rowe maybe not,
Yeah.
because you know
No,
that
no,
he
no,
has a
but-
1-for-1 replacement in Odegaard.
Yeah,
Mm.
so that's why I think Sash point kind of
Yeah.
makes sense that without
But can I just say
Gallagher-
that even though like Chelsea have a Ballon d'Or nominee, like Mount is the better midfielder. And like the fact that the Ballon d'Or guy is not even in our list right now is so strange, but he's just not. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
he's just
No,
doing a.
yeah.
I feel like Mount
he's-
is the better player. Like you miss Mount more than
Mm.
and like he's mentioned, like the Chelsea midfielders, the 4 of them, you have Mount, Kovacic, Kante, and Jorginho. All of them are really good, but the one that I feel that I would want in my team the most right now this season is Mount.
I think because of Mount is
Mm.
performing on a higher level as compared to, as in the stage he's playing on is on a bigger level as compared to
more pressure, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're playing for Chelsea. You have your UEFA games. You have everything else on the line, and he has been showing his capabilities countlessly. Whereas not giving disregard for Crystal Palace, but at the end of the day, it's just a week-to-week game and your FA Cup and all that. At the end of the day, there's so much more matches and you're playing against so many other players. Like what Nate mentioned, you have Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic. There's a lot of people eyeing for the spot. Which I could see why. Yeah, I think Nate's point on that Mount part then does make sense over. Unfortunately, though.
Yeah, I think Mount's pretty underrated in the Chelsea fan base. Like, for me as an example, I totally left out Mount because I thought that there were like better nominees. I don't really know why. I know how much he has improved, but
Yeah.
like you cause Chelsea fans, we know how good of a player he is, and we know like, how much he's missed when he's not in the team. But I just wanted to be a bit hipster, so I went with Gallagher. I mean, Gallagher is technically he's still a Chelsea player, so I mean I wouldn't mind the Mount nominee as well. So
I think it's
Oh, in favor
it's
of-
a bit tough. Can you put 3-man midfield, 3 attackers?
Can't we'll lose one. We'll lose one. How
Sacrifice a
about we move
forward.
on?
Sacrifice.
Yeah, we move on with the forwards and then we see how. Can I be this last slot in the it's Mount or Gallagher, right? It seems like.
so it's Bernardo and Mount
and either
slash
Mount or
Gallagher,
Gallagher.
right?
Yeah.
or can we settle it?
I like both, but I'm just gonna put Gallagher lah. I think.
So it's
Then it's up to
Gallagher
you.
just edges it.
Okay.
Just
It's
edges
left
it.
with Sash.
Okay.
Cause
You-
Beats
you-
and I went
oh.
with Mount.
You know what? We can put it on the fans vote.
Nah, we
Yeah,
gotta
true.
have.
Oh, fans vote.
Fans vote.
Actually, yeah, why not?
Why
I like
not?
the
Let's put
idea.
it up for
Okay,
fans
yeah,
vote.
fans vote. Yeah, can't
Tell
really
us
decide.
Mount
So
or
it'll be
Connor
a fan
Gallagher.
pick, right?
Yeah.
See
We'll leave it to a
gags.
fan
Okay,
pick.
Bernardo and fan vote.
So
I like that.
we're doing left wing or right wing first?
Why don't we just do the easy one? We just go right wing.
It's
so
gonna be
it's-
Sancho, man.
Yeah,
Why don't you bring
Martial,
us into
right?
this one?
Egyptian king, man.
Martial.
Egyptian king.
Ismaila Sarr, bro.
1,000,000%.
Ismaila Sarr.
He had like a 5-game. No, Adama, man.
Baby
you see
oil.
that cross
Yeah.
yesterday?
Extra oily.
He just did Luke Shaw, man.
Okay, right wing.
I mean,
Muhammad
the less
Salah.
said about this,
I mean,
dude has been phenomenal this season, and we're going to see how Liverpool crumble in the
Yeah.
next month without him.
mhm.
Yeah.
He can miss
Uh,
a
there's-
whole month
So
because
what
of
is he now,
AFCON and
like
still
four,
be
like
player
a
of the
4
season.
season.
Yeah,
No
I would
problem.
actually
Honestly,
love to
like,
see that. I would love to see
I'm
that.
not. I wonder if anyone will come close to him in the Golden Boot race in the month he's not around.
How far is he in front of
But,
the second? I think the second highest top scorer is also a Liverpool player, right?
Yeah, Jota. Jota is 10
It might be.
and
It might be Jota. Yeah.
Jota is 10 and I think he's 16.
I know
Oof.
Dennis has like 9 goals.
Yeah.
Vardy is 9 also, if I'm right.
Dennis. Yeah.
Hey, Vardy is like 9 goals, right? I think
Vardy has
6
fallen
or
off
7
a cliff,
came.
man.
See, it's terrible. He
Oh
doesn't
no,
even start anymore.
Dennis is not.
Sucks to see.
Vardy is higher, sorry. Suck it.
Dennis is on 8 in 4th. Vardy has a 9 in 3rd. Yeah, it's Salah then Jota.
Yeah, so
Then
Vardy.
we got a slew of guys on 8 goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smith Rowe is 8 goals. Wow.
Yeah.
Impact player,
didn't know
man.
that.
He really like
Yeah.
comes on and scores and brings a lot of energy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's not like first team. I don't think he has the stamina to last the whole game as well.
I mean,
So,
he's
yeah.
just he's a young child.
Yeah,
so he needs time to
definitely.
develop. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say the same for
Develop
Gallagher
those
though,
baby
lungs.
but Gallagher
No,
plays
no,
like
the-
90
the-
minutes
the,
every
the
game.
position that
Gallagher is
plays.
actually a bit older. It's like 21, 22.
Which is why Gallagher is in the team and Smith Rowe isn't.
Hmm.
Oh, he's in the he's in one of the
he's-
fan nominees. Yeah.
Mm.
He's
Um,
potentially in the team.
Okay, so
okay,
right wing.
right
But I
wing,
think we
right
give
wing done and
honorable
dusted.
mention
Yeah.
to Saka
and
honourable
Rafinha, dude.
Yeah.
Don't forget
and
about
think that's
Rafinha.
fair.
Yeah,
Where would Leeds be without Rafinha, man?
relegated.
Relegated.
Rafinha is kind
dragging-
of a weird one.
Sorry?
But Rafinha has become like slowly becoming a penalty merchant, man.
But he's so good.
I don't
But
know.
that's 'cause the Leeds team is really
I was
bad.
kind of
Yeah,
They're
Leeds
I
really
was
bad.
kind of high on him for a while,
Uh-huh.
but he's gone missing the last few games.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's
He
because
missed his
they run
partner,
him dry.
Bamper.
Like he
Yeah.
plays
Interesting to see
every
how
game
he finishes
all
the season.
Yeah,
That's fair,
and I think
that's
the
also fair, but
Brazil
yeah.
call up didn't really help him because he doesn't really get that
Kind of
much
messed
rest
him up,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Left.
Have you heard the rumors that Bayern might be interested in Rafinha?
Yeah, man. I
50
said to
million,
you
right?
guys,
Yeah.
I was right. There has to always be a Rafinha in Bayern. Just trade one for a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Left wing.
I like those honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, left wing.
That's
Left
a-
wing
it's
is
a big
kind of
doozy, right?
sus. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Does Jota count as a left winger?
Yeah, this is where it gets a bit confusing.
point.
Yeah,
to
because
me.
he's been playing a lot. As
I
the
think you wouldn't be faulted if you put him at left wing.
He's actually a replacement for any of the front three, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Wait, can I get your mentions on the left wing because I'm
I
a
got
bit blurry on my end.
Right.
I
So on the left, I have 3. Sorry, I'm just gonna
3.
jump in. I have Jota, Damari Gray, and Foden.
I totally forgot about
Yeah.
Foden, man.
That's exactly the same as mine, except
Mhm.
that I don't have Jota. Because Jota plays more as a striker this
Mhm.
season, like centre.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fair
I
enough.
have Foden and Gray.
I would put Jota as striker, but my striker pick I felt had to go in just cause. Yeah, you guys, I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with the striker pick lah. But
Yeah.
yeah. So for that case, because I can't have Jota as striker, I think Jota as my left wing pick.
But is he your
I
first
saw a lot of
choice?
people for left wing, yeah. Among Gray and Foden, I know Foden's been superb, but I don't think he's been as consistent as people make him out to be.
I think he was better last
You
season.
call me crazy, but I think when Foden has
Yeah.
played well this season, he's been unplayable. But it's not like he's been unplayable every game, you know what I mean? And then you got all the off the field stuff. You have Pep just rotating because
Yeah.
Pep does what Pep does.
So I'm going to throw a curveball.
That's kind of where he drops off a little bit for me.
On my list is actually Saka. This is where I got a little bit confused.
On the left, yeah.
Because this might be an honorable shout out, but I have Jared Bowen in there as well.
I think it's
I'm not
not
sure.
the
I like that.
weirdest shout out.
I think Bowen's a little bit too late.
Yeah, like he
I think Bowen might be more of a shoe-in for the end of the season, but I think his hot streak started maybe 6 games ago,
Yeah.
5 games
yeah.
ago.
So like he
But I like that.
he was
I
in my
like
list
Bowen.
as well. Saka is in
Mhm.
there. For the left. So because of the Liverpool and Arsenal, the left wing right wing thing gets me all confused. So I
Yeah.
just threw Saka on the left and Salah on the right.
It's
You threw
fine.
him on the
yeah,
left because he can't beat
the
Salah
right,
on
the
the right.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I get
and I
it.
got I didn't think of Foden. Bernardo was already down in the center mid, so I kind of left it as that. Yeah. Damari Gray is not on my list just because maybe it's just team performances. I think he done enough for attacking, defending not so much. I might be wrong, but unfortunate I just think Everton is not maybe the place he needs to be for the next step forward. Depending wherever he goes.
Everton are trash,
Mm.
which raises his stock because he's like a diamond among the thirds. But
I mean, to be
you know my pick, Jota. Of those nominees, who would you put as your like gladiator, BK? If you gun to your head, who would you put on the left side?
Saka, bro.
Saka.
I mean, Starboy,
All
man.
right, I see you. I see you.
Yeah,
Wait,
'cause
who-
for me, the
who's your
left
pick?
side-
Who's your pick?
Yeah. Who? Me? I
No,
haven't
who's
Yeah,
Pascal's
you haven't
pick?
gone yet,
give you
Sir.
my list yet.
No, who's Pascal's
Yeah.
first pick?
Jota.
Just to. Oh, okay. Sash, go on. I'm
Yeah,
just going to
but
look at some
That's
stats.
the thing.
Yeah,
If
for
Jota
me-
like dies here, he might get a chance at resurrection in the striker
No, he
position,
won't.
So it's
No,
all
he
good, man.
won't.
For me, I'm also gonna go with Jota because
For fuck's
a lot of
sakes.
the left wingers haven't really been up to scratch. Like in terms of
Yeah.
team of the season
Son
so
would
far.
normally be a shoe-in.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if Martinelli had a longer run, I think I would have nominated him because he has been exceptional since he played, or rather since he started for Arsenal. You know that the run that he had from midfield when he was playing against Man City, and he almost buried that chance. I mean, if he did that, it kind of reminded me of the Thierry Henry days where he just ran the show from midfield all the way, and then he would just kind of curl one into the far corner. He almost kind of did that.
Twice.
And wow,
yeah, he
if
could have
that
gotten
goal
2
went
goals.
in, yeah, he was a live wire, and yeah, I kind of interested to see his development till the end of the season because who knows, he might actually cement his place in that left wing position.
Yeah.
But Saka, I kind of feel that he's better on the right hand side. Honorable mention is Emmanuel Dennis at the left wing because he kind of started there at the beginning of the season. Damari Gray, yes, but he's kind of petered out a little bit. I
Yeah.
do like the nomination though.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like Everton, he did really well at the start of the season, and right now they're just kind of limping till the end.
The
of
whole
season.
team is
Yeah,
suffering.
but it's the whole team
Whole
that's
team is
limping,
just struggling, man.
Yeah, so my vote would be for Jota. Honorable mention would
Okay,
be
so
Martinelli, I guess. Foden, I think he's done well, but yeah, I do agree with Pascal. He hasn't really hit the heights that he did last season. He's kind of in and out, kind of dropped because of off-field shenanigans.
Yeah.
I
And
think
yeah,
he was
off
only
the
dropped for
ball
one
stuff.
game, right? After that, he came right
Two-
back in
2 games?
and scored.
Couple
2
games
games?
lah.
Yeah.
Pep probably just gave him like a spanking and it's like.
Yeah.
I like how
it's
Grealish is
probably
not
shouldn't
even
have
on
said
this
spanking,
list
it's
after
kinda
making
He
that
probably
100
likes
mil.
that
That's probably why he got banned in the first place. Yeah.
Pep wanted to show
But
his
yeah, I
dominance,
was surprised to see Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville's nominees both had Foden. I was like,
Huh.
really?
'Cause it's
took me
English.
by surprise a little bit. But you know, Sky, you know, they're always pushing their like
No,
England.
do you guys remember
agenda,
last
so-
season where they had Foden over Salah on their right hand side?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know it's a joke.
Was- Yeah, that was a joke. Like how
I don't think Carragher did though. Carragher didn't.
I think was it
But-
Neville? I
think it
remember
was
one
Neville.
of them
I
had
remember-
like Foden over Salah.
I think Neville did. Yeah, it was really bizarre.
Dude, it was
Yeah, no,
fraudulent.
the-
to be
I-
honest, Salah's playing better this season. It's strange. Like
Yeah,
Salah
but last
Yep,
season
yep.
he
finds
was
new
also,
levels, which is
like, up there,
incredible.
Yeah.
He's not just a goal scorer anymore. He's one of the top for chances created and assists.
Mm.
So he's added that to this game right now. So that's why it's a no-brainer to have him in the team. And if Neville doesn't include him for this season's team of the season, I have no
he was
words.
they both had him.
Yeah,
It
he'll
was,
he'll
like,
just
we
put
should put him on
Ronaldo.
It was
Fraud
the
Watch.
easiest
Like he's gonna be
decision to
like the fifth pillar of Fraud Watch in when we do this in
Genève.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, shall we go with Jota then?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, man. One on the board. One more on the board for Merseyside Reds. Now striker. I remember last season we were spoilt for choice. This season is
Yeah.
like a
It's a
like a
graveyard.
wasteland, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. HK was also one of our shoe-ins last season because he was just dominating the goal scoring and the assist making. But this season, he's been actually not kind of, he's been super anonymous up until the last 3 games. Who do I have, man? I'm looking at my list. At ST, I literally have Antonio,
Yep.
Dennis, and Broha. Like even Broha, like I don't believe it. Like I'm just like hipster choice, you know. I don't want any of those options if I'm
Where's
being
Kron,
completely
man?
honest.
Where's Kron?
Dude, I would love to have Kron on the list, but same as Lukaku, like what the hell have the two of them been doing, you know? How do we have a team of the season so far without either Kron or Lukaku or Kane? It just blows my mind.
Beats me, man.
Who else do you guys have besides the few that I listed?
Mine's.
I mean, I had
Antonio,
Jota there,
maybe.
but he's currently occupying the left wing spot. So
Yeah, mine's Jota or Antonio, man. So like you guys put Jota on the left, so it's Antonio for me, man.
What about Dennis as a striker, or is he like
Yeah,
a
I wouldn't
a
mind that,
firm left wing? I just
I think
think
Dennis has become a
it's always
striker when
difficult-
Josh King isn't there, so they kind of rotate.
yeah.
mm-hmm.
But Watford have like 13 points. I was kind of surprised. They are 17th right now, and to have a guy with 8 goals in a 17th place side is like a huge deal. Like without his goals, they'll probably be like 19th or something.
Mhm.
So for that reason, I would edge him ahead. I don't think his form is going to continue though. I really believe he's a flash in the pan, but regardless if you're a flash in the pan or not, I have to give credit where credit's due, and that's why he's the best among the rest for me.
Nah, Antonio for me, man. I mean, like it's a comeback, like just a complete comeback. I mean, like everyone has been talking like this season that he was like nobody for the couple of seasons at West Ham, and all of a sudden Moyes made him work wonders and revived his career. I think that's quite a very big deal for. I think he's 32 already. I know he's probably
Early
past
30s.
He's up there.
yeah.
He's up there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of nominate him for that. If not, I think he had a minor injury, right? That like made him set out for a couple of games or something. But if not for
I
that,
don't
I
think
think
he has been
Yeah,
injured
he's been
yeah,
on and
this
off the
season.
last few
He
games.
had COVID. I think he had COVID.
yeah.
but
So I
yeah.
think if not for
Wasn't
that, I
injury.
think he would have like knocked more
Yeah.
goals in.
Antonio should be nominated because he hasn't had one of his frequent injuries at all this season. I think it's kind of due to a new diet that he's been trying. He's been cutting off red meat. Yeah, I've read that, and it kind of helped him with his kind of helped him stay fit. Yeah, he's on a new diet because, West Ham without Antonio, they basically have no striker. So, I think he might have tailed off a little bit in terms of form, but I think striker position wise, he should get the pole position as
Yeah.
the striker in team of the season so far, because there's literally no one else. I mean, you could Kron honorable mention, but Yeah, just not feeling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hear me out. We put Jota as a striker so I can put Saka back on my left wing.
No.
It works out,
I
guys.
like that though. Bartering.
I have
Actually, on
to
that
shout
note, that's
out.
not that bad. I feel like on that note, we could actually put Jota into the center because you think about it, goals to goal ratio, Antonio or Jota, and primarily Jota has been playing center more anyways. I think it's not that far off an idea to do that.
I do have 2 shout outs though. Mr. Vardy, of course, but we all know like the goals were like mainly tap ins or however. The next one is actually Neil Maupay. I hate that guy, but man has actually got
Damn,
some. His shithousery is
He
He
real.
just
lah.
lost a ton of Arsenal viewers, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that guy, but shithousery is real with this guy, and he takes it as an art lah. And he,
You know we're scraping the barrel when Maupay is our honourable mention, but I don't hate that
I think
nomination, but
there is a little bit of a case, like a slightly better than
Yeah.
honourable mention for
just
Kron.
like
It's
just
like,
a
how many
meh.
last minute goals he
Honourable-
scored?
Honourable
man?
second.
a very honourable mention.
Honourable plus mention.
Dishonorable. Yeah.
I mean,
but
he.
On the
let's
topic
let's
of
really
Kron,
like
right?
take away all of like his history and all. This guy is 36 years old in the Premier League and he's still doing it for fun. I mean, he's definitely we can't expect him to be his old self, but like he's still up there, and I guess it's partly because of his I mean, there's a very like, okay, this is a very off honorable mention to Cavani just because I feel like he makes the team play better. It's just that he doesn't get the run in the team for the fact that Ronaldo probably takes that position when they decide not to play
that's
too
why-
up together.
Yeah, I think that's why we put Antonio, because off the ball he also does something to help the team, whereas
Yeah.
Ronaldo, he's not gonna do much if it's not
Yeah.
scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's just a sad case of circumstances that if Cavani actually gets a decent run in the team, he could probably make this list as well if he got to play as many games as Antonio, because of just like the nature of how he plays. He's quite all-rounder and he scores goals like with his head. He can shoot from distance. He's got a pretty all-round game as well. He's not a tap-in merchant actually. So, and he doesn't get his goals through pens. Like he really does it old school. So I think, but I mean that's just a off honorable mention. He's not on my list either.
I think we're down to
It's just Antonio actually.
yeah, pretty much. Unless you guys take
Or-
one off
or
of
you
Kron,
Kron
I
into the
would,
centre.
Yeah,
but I can't justify putting Ronaldo in, especially
No, Ronaldo is never
based
in.
on what we are used to seeing. He's a victim of his own high standards, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, the same for Lionel Messi. We could say the same.
No, Lionel Messi is underperforming. I feel.
He shouldn't have
But
won.
How
Ronaldo
Messi
Never mind,
is
we're not going. We're not going
performing
there. We're
to
not going
his
there.
level that he is right now, which is lower than his inhuman levels.
You can see how uninspired we are for this striker pick, It's just
Jota.
striker is the glamour position in any football team, and like we are freaking struggling. God damn it!
Probably just the evolution of
No,
football
you
right now.
just take my offer. Okay,
The
I
white
treat
forwards
you-
are taking all the glory.
I propose this like super
Fritzo.
random thing. Okay, so hear me out. Bernardo Silva on the left wing, Jota as the striker. Right wing is Salah. Center mid will be Mount and Gallagher.
So we're just killing the fan vote.
Mount and Gallagher. Then that means you're not taking in who's our other
Bernardo is going left.
Bernardo.
Left wing.
Oh, Bernardo's going up. Ah, okay.
See, I
don't
sacrificed
hate
ESR
that.
and
I don't
Saka.
hate that.
What the hell, man?
I
The
don't
thing
hate
about
that,
it is that the three
but-
forwards and the two attacking midfielders, they're all quite fluid, especially for
They're
Silva,
all
who
false
can
nine.
literally
The
play
whole
all
team
five.
is the whole team is just a false nine team. This is how Pep plays.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
he's
you could
Holland,
even
haven't
say
you?
like
Salah,
honorable, like
yeah.
off-shot honorable mention to Jesus also, who's
Oh, yeah.
playing decently. But
right winger.
nah.
Gonna
Right
shift
wing,
to the
right?
right,
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's up to you
Nah.
guys.
Just not-
Let's just
I'm gonna
keep
let you
it.
guys.
Yeah, not the year for the strikers.
Nah.
Okay, so Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll put
I think
Antonio for the
he
lols.
deserves it. He deserves it anyway.
Okay. I'm actually surprised. Like we'll probably put up another poll for like Because I think the one position that's really close is Rice and Rodri. Like even now, I'm just like, you know what? Rodri is not bad. Rodri's not a bad shout, but yeah, we'll lock in Rice. But I would like to hear like from
Fan vote?
you guys, the listeners, who you would pick. But yeah, Antonio goes in. Now 2 West Ham players, man. So
Yeah, I know,
we obviously got our manager to come. But I'm just gonna read out the current team we have. So we have Ramsdale, Reece James, Rudiger, Cody, and Cancelo. Then we got Declan Rice, Bernardo Silva, Mount and Gallagher is the fan vote. And in attack we have Mo Salah, Diogo Jota on the left, and Antonio up front. That is a pretty tasty team, I'm not gonna lie. And for the manager, who do you guys have?
Michael Carrick for perfect.
No losses in 3
No
games.
one expected there.
No L's.
Well, Chelsea
Man
was
took
one of
no
them. Who were
L's.
the other? Chelsea, Arsenal, and who?
One
was
was
the
a
third
Europa game.
Yeah, it was the
Okay.
Young Boys.
Oh,
Was it
Villarreal.
Young
Sorry,
Boys?
it's a
Villarreal.
Champions League game, right?
Was it Young Boys?
Who was it?
Yeah. Come on, like
Villarreal, I think. Was it Villarreal? I think.
Oh
it was
yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean,
who you guys
stats
got?
don't
You guys
lie.
naming your squad? Nate can't throw Ralph in. It's automatically banned.
I'm not throwing him in. What are you talking about?
No. Well, I'm assuming Pascal would probably throw.
Daddy Club.
No, Daddy Club. Pep is kind of got.
I think we hate to admit
Klopp
it.
is
No,
up there, but
No,
I was gonna say the one who's up there is the guy who has got 11 wins in a row. But
exactly.
my nominee
It's hard. How do you
Moyes.
argue against that?
Yeah, same.
Oh, I'm actually.
I had Moyes and Arteta actually.
Yeah, I'm throwing Arteta
Because-
in.
Of how Arteta was getting his. I'm trying to think of a PG term,
Trust
but
the
he was getting
process.
roasted bad.
Yeah,
And he's been like a dead man walking like at least 3 times already. And I think now is finally the time where the tide seems to have turned. Like I'm sure there will always be detractors for Arteta, but
and
the performances in August versus the performances now are like night and day. The signings that him and his team made were under a lot of fire as well, but they've all worked out. And when your transfers work out, it always buys you more time.
yeah.
So just for that and the amount of grief we were giving him, I think he just edges out Moyes a bit for me.
And I think because of it might be the media thing, the whole sagas and everything that like what Pascal mentioned. I think to top it off all is that whole Aubameyang decision and how he handled it. You can see the media keep probing and how he always take it as like he's just not selected, full stop. There's nothing to go on. Not much more info, and he answered the question and that's it. You're not going to get out of me.
I think the only big L from Arteta this season was when he tried to fight Klopp. That was the only big L in recent memory. Like he just roused the Anfield crowd and you guys got smashed
Moyes
after
is
that.
a great shout out. Is a really good shout out. I thought the Brentford guy as well. Forgot his name.
Thomas Frank?
Yeah, I mean, to bring the squad to such depth is as well quite I mean, he's not even in relegation or however, man. He definitely deserves a shout out. To me, just if Arteta did win that City game, I think that would have put the icing on the cake.
Mhm.
Like, I think for this thing, I would have nominated him. So I'm cool with Moyes, but I'll lean towards Arteta.
That being said, though, Moyes and Arteta are great nominees, but my problem is how do you argue against, like Nate said, how do you against the ball fraud with 11 in a row and 11 points ahead?
No, but he got
Like,
the cash
you can't.
and everything.
Like, as
He
much
has-
as I don't want him to be my
No.
manager,
No, can't.
you guys get where I'm coming from,
Actually,
right?
let's switch this conversation a little bit. Let's put ourselves as players. If we are players, who do we want to be our manager? Not as fans, but as players.
No,
who
can't,
do we
like,
want to play for? Or
de-
whose team
depends
do we
what-
want to be in?
Sad to
Depends
say,
what
but
player.
Klopp, bro.
Yeah, because I think I think under Pep, I'll receive a lot of like Pep will guide me. He'll make me a better player and all that. And in terms of Pep plays football the way football is meant to be, like attacking football, holding possession and all that. Under Moyes and Arteta, a bit on the defensive
It's more
side.
grafting.
Yeah, but you can see what Arteta
More
doing.
grafters.
What Arteta is
Yeah.
doing to Arsenal right now, and
I
yeah,
do
I
feel.
think
I do
if,
feel
if,
as
you, if you were
a.
to ask me this question, like the first 3 games of the season, that Arteta's gonna be the nominee, right? I would have just
Hell
laughed
no.
my head off. But
Yeah.
yeah, credit. I have to give credit where credit is due, man. Like Arteta, you can see what he's doing at Arsenal right now. But that being said, I would still say I would like to work under Pep, which is kind of ironic because Ferran Torres didn't clearly didn't want to do that. Yeah, he left for Barcelona.
Is that why he bounced?
I don't
I'm
really
actually
know
not
the
really
reason
sure
why.
what happened there.
Maybe
Yeah.
he wanted to be closer to his family and all that, but we don't really know the real
I
reason.
think to Spaniards, Barcelona will, no matter how shite they are right now, it always has that allure for
Spanish
South American
players,
and
yeah.
Spanish players. So I don't know
Uh,
about that, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to see where Nate's point is coming from, but I just also it comes down to what kind of player you are, and I mean, if you're a youth, right, I don't think I want to go to a City squad just because it's so decked. I don't even know if I'll have game time. Like me going to West Ham would probably have more chances. Maybe Arsenal, but
I love how you're thinking about game time, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's not that deep.
definitely it's all about
FM life.
FM life, man.
Yeah.
But think about how
the
much you
stats.
learn under Pep compared to like Arteta or Moyes. Like Moyes, he's kind of a you need players with like he plays players with experience.
Rice. Yeah, I think
Like,
he
he
plays the
doesn't
very
really-
right.
Like, you know, bleed out a lot of youth. Like he doesn't that I think that's the word. Like he doesn't really promote youths a lot. I think Ben Johnson is an exception, but
Mm.
that's
The
because
youth.
like he had a lot of injuries to contend with in that defensive position. So yeah, Arteta
I think Pep's a bit of
Yeah,
a psychopath though. I think he loves manipulating. Like I think he loves fucking with his players and like mentally trying to break them
That
because
pretty much
there's so
sounds
many
like Pep,
times when
man.
I've seen City players, right? They get dropped for no reason.
mhm.
It's just Pep's rotation.
Like it's not just rotation, it's like because he will rest them for like sometimes 2 games, and then if the guy who comes in as his replacement plays well, he'll just stick with him. So if I'm a Man City player, like sometimes if I get dropped, I'll just be like, what the hell, man? Like I thought I was playing well.
Mhm.
Now I'm out of the team all of a sudden. So Pep, it's like almost like there's so little room for error when you're like playing for guys like Tuchel and Pep, which I mean that's why the elites go there lah. You,
But on
you
the
can't have a
on the
bad, you
flip
can't have
side,
an off
it kind of
training session.
builds you up mentally. Like
Mm,
you, you can't
I
feel sorry
agree.
for yourself.
yeah,
Get dropped. You
definitely.
I just got to train harder so that Pep will notice it and then he'll just play me.
Pep is
Because
straight out of Game of
Not
Thrones,
what
man.
Lukaku said in the interview, but okay.
less about it. Less said about
They-
that, the better.
they call it Pep roulette for a reason.
Mm.
Hey.
But I think on that
I also
note,
find it crazy.
like
go ahead.
the
Nick.
thing about City and Chelsea, like we talk about the rotation and everything, but the results show like those two are probably them and Liverpool. But Liverpool are reliant because on their players, because their players are peak. They're the best in their positions. Salah, Mane, you won't drop either. So there's no need for rotation.
9 times
for
out of
those.
10, you know what the Liverpool starting lineup's gonna be if everyone's fit.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
but like
We're more
for City,
predictable.
you can drop one and the replacement is equally as good. Just maybe a bit rusty, but then that's probably why then Pep gives them a bit of a extended run. Like, so if Sterling comes out, then maybe Mahrez goes in, plays 3-4 games on the bounce, then you're like, what happened to Sterling? But then you look at Mahrez, you're like, yeah, but then he's good too. Then he goes out, and then Jesus comes in, you're like, yeah, he's good too. It's like you can't really. That's just how City
He
plays.
it's almost like Pep is like I don't know, like a lion tamer, and like all his players are like hungry as lions and they haven't been fed in like days. So the moment they get that one chance to impress, they know that they have to take it, because if they put in a subpar performance, they'll probably be hooked off by 60 minutes and won't get to see the first team for like another 5 games or until an injury comes in. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. Hard to argue with the ball fraud lah. But
Yeah, I mean,
the not the sympathetic vote, the comeback vote would probably be like Arteta, just because of how he's like navigated through the shitstorm of like
Bad results, yeah.
not controversy, but like bad results and criticism. So I would put him in, but I think for the rest of y'all,
I will put Arteta in.
It's just very hard to it's just very hard to
I think
go
Arteta
against
has
Pep
a
lah.
shout for manager of the season because we're starting to see him play with the team that he wants. But for the season
oh
so
my
far,
God,
he's played
what
with a team that
Twilight
he didn't
Zone
really
shit
like
is
at the
this?
beginning, and the results were really
Arteta
bad.
manager of the
Which is why
season.
I'm putting Arteta in for this one, but the last one I think we'll have to go Pep because he will be the one walking away with the trophy. So that's why I'm kind of putting in Arteta for this one.
But he's kind of like, you could argue
Allegedly.
that he may walk away with it, but it's also possibly because the other team stumble. Like,
I mean,
he
you
doesn't
guys
have the
are
issue of the AFCON for Liverpool. Chelsea have an issue with their striker now, and United are just shit. So
I mean, you
you
guys
know.
will thank me when like it's FKB curse. So anyone we nominate on this list will automatically flop for the next.
then let's
entire
put
half
Pep
of
because
this
none of us are
Okay,
City fans.
Okay, yeah.
Why not
yeah,
put Pep?
Let's put
Based on
Pep.
that logic.
Yeah. I think it's hard. You can't argue with the facts. You can't argue with the
Can't.
stats.
Argue with
You
the
know what?
FKB curse.
Yeah. I think Pep goes right in there, man. So
Right.
I'm gonna lock Pep right in.
Bolt fraud.
All right. I think
Thanks for the reminder, Nate. Yeah.
that means
Um,
Salah and Jota is going to shit, so, but that's on you guys.
But Salah's not gonna be playing for a month, lah. So the curse kind of wears off after like a few games.
Just before we
Jota,
move
I'm
on,
not so sure.
can I
but-
just say that the fact that we don't have a single United player in this team means that
I know
are we
that's how
suddenly
far
gonna
you guys are.
like
sure.
gonna
Oh,
search out
trust
the
me,
table
I tried.
because of the
I
curse.
tried, but hand to heart, who can you nominate in the United
De
side?
Gea is the only
I think
one.
only
that-
De Gea
De
gets
Gea
an
is probably
honorable
the
mention
closest,
to be
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Exactly.
close top 3. He's up there with Mendy, Ramsdale. Like, I think he just does a lot of saves. Like, you don't see it because the results don't show in terms of the league table and stuff. But if you just watch the games, De Gea is like he's
I mean, the
he's so
the
good.
Manchester derby, like, I know he made a mistake, but bloody hell, the first half he made like
Yeah.
8 saves.
The save
You know,
against
that
Jesus,
alone-
though. I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That match alone deserves a nomination, but yeah, maybe end of the season, Nate. Hang in there. Maybe you'll get one in for the end of the season vote.
Do you think we will
Maybe.
end up?
I don't know though.
I mean, now that we're done with this, like, I do
Mm.
have the feels to do a fraud of the season. I think United's team is going to be all over this.
We definitely have to, but I think that one maybe we'll wait till
Yeah. But
after the transfer window. I think we can still do something with regards to the transfer window.
Yeah.
And our favorite soon to be championship side, Newcastle, but they're making moves for
Aubameyang?
Trippier and Sven Botman.
Aubameyang as
Aubameyang
well.
in that
Yeah.
The Oba
List
one
as
I'm
well?
not so sure about lah, but that'll be funny if
Mhm.
Oba goes to Newcastle.
Oh, that will be funny. All
Can't
right.
wait to hear True Geordie like slating Aubameyang. That'll be peak.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good one.
Alright guys, we've done about hour 40.
I think that's
Actually went under my expectations. We've had some really good honorable mentions. I particularly like the Tomiyasu one. It's just a shame that he is had to contend with Reece James and Trent.
Kind of
Mhm.
surprised that Cody
but yeah.
made your 11. Like, it was just
I like
an out
that.
there
I like that
nomination.
pick. Yeah. Sometimes
yeah.
the best ones are the ones you don't kind of
Mm.
expect.
I'm kind of surprised
like
we
that.
all put Conor Gallagher.
I'll slap the captain's armband on Cody, man. Why not?
Yeah, slap it on.
Why not?
Just do it.
Yeah.
No, Gallagher's up for discussion. He
Yeah.
hasn't been confirmed yet.
It's Gallagher / Mount.
Yeah.
So
No.
Yeah.
actually
Hey,
only
is it-
two
That's
people
up to
made
the fans.
the.
You guys have
We
to
we
decide.
only agreed
Gallagher / Mount.
on Bernardo and Salah, like, and Antonio.
I think
Rudiger
Cancelo was
Rudiger
pretty
is
good.
the
Cancelo.
shoe in.
Cancelo.
Yeah.
Oh, and
There was a
Rudiger.
bit of fuckery with Teles being mentioned.
No, that was a mention.
No, I know.
Oh, so we actually agreed on 5 players straight up already. Oh, that's
Yeah.
Hard lah. I mean, like I said, there was kind of a meta to the start of the season, especially like out wide and in the center of defense. But
yeah.
we got there in the end. Hopefully this video recording gets there in the end. So far so good. You know, knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, regardless, you get this episode up on Wednesday. Whether it's in video form or audio form, we will have to wait and see. I'll do my absolute best to edit the shit out of this. But yeah, thanks so much to BK, Nate, and Sash. Nice seeing you guys sort of in the flesh. But to all our listeners as well, Tune in next week as well. We haven't decided on the topic yet. Might go back to the original format. Might have another special app. You guys will just have to find out. But yeah, until then, have a great, I guess, evening, and we'll see you guys in the next app.